I received a letter from the Internal Revenue Service, and it is dealing with something that I know you have just been on the edge of your seat waiting for me to address. No, seriously, it's from the Internal Revenue Service, and it says, Mr. Goodbread, you may be eligible to receive advance payments of the Child Tax Credit, CTC. If you are eligible for advance CTC payments and want to receive these payments, you don't need to take any action. You'll receive a letter with more details. Skip ahead 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs down to the closing paragraph. Big, bold, black letters. If you don't wish to receive advance CTC payments, instructions on how to unenroll from these payments will be available by the end of June. Please continue to check www.irs.gov/Child Tax Credit 2021 for additional information about these advance CTC payments. All right, so here's my question. Do we unenroll from the advance payments for the CTC of the CTC? I think that's the way it says, the child tax credit. See, here's what's happened, is a lot of people are receiving this letter in the mail. A lot of people are. I've had lots of comments or questions about this over the last month, since this came out on June the 4th is when mine's dated. Basically saying, hey, Justin, what is this? What do I do with this? Help. So I thought it was pretty apropos for us to deal with this particular letter and just basically get an understanding of how this works. So got a letter here we're going to kind of reference several times, but let's go back to the beginning. Child tax credit. This one's new. So in the past, if you had a child, then you received a credit for roughly $2,000. That came underneath the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of, I think it was 2017, moved the child tax credit to $2,000 per child under the age of 16 back then. Lo and behold, the American Rescue Plan came along this year in 2021, and Congress, in all their infinite wisdom, decided that we need to receive $3,000 as a child tax credit if we have children over the age of 5, so from age 6 to age now 17, keep that in mind, age now 17, or if we have kids under the age of 5, we can get $3,600 per child. So this is simple, guys. A credit reduces the amount of money we owe the IRS. It's better than a deduction, which reduces our taxable income amount. Credits are always rock star status over deductions. If I didn't know any better, I'd almost think the Internal Revenue Service wants people with lots of babies to have fun or to lower the tax bill. Remember, the Internal Revenue Code is there to incentivize what Congress believes we need to do for our country. That's ultimately what it's there for. It's there to incentivize people to take a certain behavioral movement. And there's a really cool history lesson on that if you ever want to study the development of the Internal Revenue Code or how taxes have moved over time. So let's answer some basic questions that I've fielded over the last little bit on this particular question. First of all, what do I do to qualify for the child tax credit? Well, you have to have a child, and we get that. You had to file a tax return in 2019 or 20. Why 19? Well, because many business owners haven't filed their 2020 returns, and here I am in July recording this, and we're living it, right? We're in the trenches fighting the battle, and some of us wait to the very last moment to file our previous year's return, which can go all the way up till October, mind you. So you had to file a 2019 or 2020 return. You had to have a house in the United States, your primary home. You had to live here for more than half a year last year. And you have to have a child under the age of 18 by the end of 2021. That's right. If you have a baby that will be born, it's your first one this year. First of all, let me say congratulations to you. But if you have a child who's maybe going to turn 18 years of age or older by the end of the year, then they're not going to be eligible. So it has to have a child under the age of 18 by the end of this year, and they have to have a valid Social Security number. We're going to come back to that in a second. Someone asked me, hey, Justin, yeah, you have to. And you have to make less than the certain income limits. So we've already dealt with the fact that this is part of the American Rescue Plan, which President Biden signed into law. The biggest things is that now children 17 years of age can qualify for the credit. Previously, they couldn't. Another one is the credit increased from $2,000 per child to now $3,000 per child, unless the child is under the age of 6, and it's $3,600 per child. So from 0 to 5 years of age is $3,600 per child. Third is it makes the credit fully refundable and removes the $2,500 earnings floor. Used to, you actually had to make some money to receive the child credit. Now you don't. Okay. There's a reason for that, friends. I won't try to get on my political soapbox, but yeah, I am. I get so freaking aggravated with the IRS or the government handing out monthly checks. Okay. Can I get an amen right there? I got so many business owners that can't hire anybody because unemployment checks are higher than what forget the minimum wage of $6. Paying people $12 an hour in some states don't even compete with the unemployment wages now. But because of all the stimulus, people sitting on their butts at home not going to work. It's aggravating to me. And now the government's office wisdom wants to give us $300 per month per child, basically, and now there's no earnings floor. So that's right. You don't have to have any income. Hey, we're just going to give you another $3,000 per child. So let's you see my soapbox. Yeah, I'm going to get off of it now, leave the political comments to the people who like to take fiery darts. But yeah, this one's frustrating to me. Anyways, back in the happy Justin land. The fourth is that it requires half the credit to be paid in advance by having the IRS send monthly payments to families from July through December. Let's soapbox again. Why? Why do we have to have monthly payments? Why can't we just get it when we file our tax return? No, we got to continue providing monthly income to people. That's not the government's responsibility. Sorry, I'll try to stay off my soapbox. Just my opinion. Feel free to make it yours. It's not the government's responsibility to take care of us, friends. It's our responsibility. The sooner we learn to live that as a society, the better we'll be. My opinion. Feel free to take it and make it yours. So let's go back to the reality here. What do we got to do to receive the child tax credit payments? Nothing. If you filed your tax return, the IRS is going to look on your 2019-2020 tax return and say, hey, here's eligibility or not. Well, you say, well, my information is wrong. My information is wrong. You're going to be able to go, let me give you that website from the letter again. You can update this. You can go to irs.gov/child tax credit 2021, and you can update your information. So you can find out if you're eligible. You can see your payment schedule. You can make changes to your bank information. You're going to be able to update your address. You can even say, hey, we just had a baby in March of 2021. You can give that information and enroll if you previously unenrolled and all those fun things. So you can do all that on that particular website. Do you need to call the IRS or to update your bank information? No, you can go to the website. You can do that. You don't even have to call your CPA and have them do it, or your bank. You go to the website and update your bank information, and that's how the payment will come to you. What if the IRS doesn't have any of your bank information? Same thing, go to the website and update it. Will the IRS send me a letter before you file your taxes next year? I had somebody ask me that. Yeah, they will. It's actually IRS letter, capital letter, 6419 is going to be provided in early January of 2022, showing the amount of disbursements that you received. And that way you can provide it to your tax preparer and they can work on trying to figure out whether or not any of you had to pay back, or do you get to keep it all? Are the advancement on the child tax credits taxable? No, it's not income. This is an advance of a credit. It's not income. That's right. You don't even have to make any money. Because of the IRS and all their wisdom, you don't even have to make any money to receive a child tax credit. Remember, a credit is there to reduce taxes most of the time. And this time it's there so the government can hand more money out and continue to cause us problems. No, it's not taxable. Bottom line. How is it determined? Well, it's determined from the information on your 2019-2020 tax return. That's how the credit is determined. If you don't think the information in your 19 or 2020 returns are accurate, go and update it according to that website that I previously gave you. We'll put a link in that in the description below. How much will you receive? How much will I receive in advance? So on this particular letter that I received here, it says, third paragraph, for tax year 2021, the advance CTC payment will be one half the estimated CTC, child tax credit. The maximum annual CTC will be $3,000 per child between the ages of 6 and 17, and $3,600 per qualifying child between the ages under the age of 6. Okay, how much are you going to receive? If you have a child who's be under the age of 6, you're going to get $300 per month. How did I come up with that? $3,600 is what the letter says. Divided by 2, which is half, is $1,800. Divide that by 6 is $300 per month. Simple math. If you have a child between the ages of 6 and 17, that's where all 3 of my kids fall in. That means I'm going to take $3,000, divide it in half, cut it in half, which is $1,500. Now divide that by 6. It's roughly $250 per month per child. So in my case, I'd have $750 deposited into our bank account for this particular advance. The 4th paragraph on this letter, dated June 4th, 2021, says, the maximum credit is available to taxpayers with modified, not adjusted, but modified adjusted gross income of $75,000 or less for a single taxpayer, $112,500 for a head of household, or $150,000 for married couples filing jointly, or the qualifying widower's return. Now, the maximum credit phases out for higher income taxpayers. Okay, so this, I think, is the root of the question. Hey, Justin, should I just go ahead and unenroll from this? Here's the root. Many business owners are going to bust through that $150,000 married filing jointly return, or the $112,000 for the head of household. But where does it phase out? So this last point says the maximum credit phases out for higher tax brackets or higher income earners. It's going to phase out at $400,000 on modified adjusted gross income. So if you make more than $400,000 in modified adjusted gross income, then you're phasing out. But here's where it gets interesting. You could potentially still claim the regular tax credit of $2,000 per child, the one that was in place before the American Rescue Plan. So you could go back and claim that one potentially. Well, what happens if you got payments then? So here's the question in my logical brain. Okay, Justin, I did not unenroll from the payments, and I received the payments. Now my income is going to be $500,000. Dude, what do I do? Do I have to pay it back? Do I have to, what's going to happen? Well, in this particular case, they're going to calculate what your true credit should be, and whatever your true credit should be, there will be an adjustment on your tax return, and you potentially could have to pay some of the money back. Let's just go ahead and say that. So it's possible, depending on your income, you could have to pay some of the money back. When is the IRS going to start making these payments? It's going to start in July, like now. I'm recording this in the first week of July, and so this is going to be released here this month. More than likely, you may or may not have already received one of these. One little caveat you have to remember is you have to have a Social Security number. I know there's a little trend right now where people have kids and they don't get a Social Security number. You need to have a Social Security number, and you need to update your information if you have a baby this year on that website. Again, irs.gov/child tax credit 2021, and you can update the information there. So let's go answer the bottom line. Hey, man, as a business owner, do I unenroll? I got to tell you, I think I'm going to bust through some income limits. I'm not going to unenroll. I'm going to take the money. I'm going to set it over into a savings account. Who knows what I'm going to do with it. And when it comes time, it all shakes out. I may end up using the $2,000 credit. I may bust through some thresholds. It depends on how much tax planning I can do this year. But I'm going to go ahead and accept the money. I'm not going to unenroll. For the majority of people out there, get the money and just put it back in a savings account. Invest in your Roth IRA if you're eligible. Do something with the money that's productive. So that's a lot of information. The reason why I dealt with that is, man, I've got lots of questions on this over the last little bit. Friends, it's complicated. This is why you have to have a rock star tax preparer, tax advisor in your corner. I spent the morning with my tax advisor going through these things and looking and double checking my notes. And he's like, Goodbread, you got it, man. This is exactly right. And he goes, yeah, I probably wouldn't. He goes, I'm not. I'm going to bust through the limitations, but I'm going to let them pay me because my income in 2020 was far lower than it traditionally is. So I'm going to let them pay me and take the cash, set it back, and then we'll see how my tax returns shake out for this year. And I may have to pay some back, but oh well, we'll deal with it. Talk to your tax advisor. But I hope this gives you some insight, maybe answers this crazy letters that we're receiving in the mail right now from the Internal Revenue Service. Look, friends, this is complicated stuff. This is why you need a team around you. This is why I have a team around me. Like, Goodbread, I don't get it, man. I need help. This is what we do. Reach out to us. We can help you. We can help you. Till next time, friends, y'all go out and make it a great day.